Welcome, Ofir+Lior, to the Dance Again podcast. I am so happy to have both of you here.
Same.
I've been chasing you guys down since LA, and I'm so happy that the time is finally here. I've heard bits of Ofir's story, but I think that there's a piece that is missing whenever I've heard it, and it's the both sides of the story. And you've gone on for different speeches and receptions and told your story, and you always have recognition of Lior.
Mhm.
But I want to hear Lior's story because I feel like that's actually essential. But
I agree.
I agree, and I'm so happy that you two came up with the idea that we do the podcast together. I told Leo before, maybe you come up on stage and also with me and tell your story, because I always tell my side, and there's a story.
Yeah.
There's a story.
Do you guys mind start by just sharing like a little bit about yourself, like where you guys are from originally, just your life, what you do, where you're.
You were asking me this before, and then I said, "Who were we before October 7th?" And I started tearing up, and I am again, because everything is different.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of questions of who was I before, and maybe we'll figure it out today. But it's a different life. It's like a different lifetime.
Yeah.
So it's only been a year and 2 months, but it feels so much more.
Yeah.
But before, I'm originally from Israel. I was born and raised in Tel Aviv. I went twice to the States with my family. We lived here for almost 10 years in 2 different times. So that's where I got my English from.
Yeah, your English is very good.
And we love the States.
Ofir, where are you from?
So I was born and raised in Germany until I was 11. That's where I have my accent from.
Yeah.
And when I was 11, we moved to Israel. And since then, I live in Israel. And in the last 10 years before October 7th, I have a business with my brother, a real estate business in Berlin. So in the last 10 years, I was flying back and forth, Tel Aviv, Berlin. And during that period, I met Lior. We met at the festival. It's called Midburn. It's the Israeli Burning Man, like the little sister of the Burning Man.
Yeah.
This is when we met in 2018. When I met her, I knew immediately.
Really?
I knew
Yeah, it was-
immediately that
What was the
Amazing.
context? Like, where you were at Midburn.
we're at Midburn. We were like 2 group of friends, that we did a camp together. She came with the other group, and after 2 days, we told her, "You're with us. Like, you have to, like, you're with us." And since then, she was like,
We actually had a really good friend of ours, and she looked at me and she goes, "You're going to marry Ofir." And I was like, "No way." She goes, "Yeah, you will."
You were how old at the time when you did?
25.
And
Ofir is
and I was 30.
35. So,
I just turned 35.
yeah.
And yeah, so I knew she knows, but she doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
But I knew.
Yeah. Yeah,
But she was following me. She was following me around Burning Man, Midburn, and then afterwards, and yeah. So we started to date actually only like 6 months after Midburn. So that was 2018.
Yeah.
2019 December, on her birthday, I proposed to her in Paris. So we were in Berlin. It was a surprise for her
Right.
birthday. I took her to Paris.
Yeah.
It was easy because it's Paris, so she dressed up nice every.
Wow. Yeah, I dressed up amazing.
Well, she always dresses
Beautiful.
up nice, but it was.
It was my birthday. It was Paris.
We got lucky. We had a sunny day
Yeah.
in middle of Christmas. Everything turned out perfect.
And then he
So we got
got
engaged.
down on one knee. Everyone was around us, remember? People were clapping.
So we got engaged, and it was December 19, and then March 20, she starts a new job,
Mm-hmm.
and 5 days later we start quarantine.
Yeah.
COVID happened,
Mhm.
but our plan was to go to Burning Man this summer, like after we got engaged in September 20, and that's why we said, okay, let's do Burning Man, and then we get married afterwards. We met at Midburn, and we're going to do Burning Man together, and then we're going to get married.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, you're crazy. Who does that? It's
You will
too long. You will break up. And then COVID happened, and then everyone, wow, you're a genius. You're so smart. How did you think of it?
like knew before. It was crazy.
And everything,
The energy.
really, everything was like, everything turned out like the best way we could wish for, because we planned the wedding a year and a half in advance, and she had a dream of how she wants to get married, but then we saw that people changed the way, like it changed the way people get married, because they changed it to, okay, we do a small wedding for 100 of our friends or 50 people. Even if it's COVID and lockdown, we can still do it for 50, 30 people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also understood, okay, like almost a year in COVID, that maybe we'll also have to, prepare that we might not get like a 500 people wedding.
Yeah.
So it turned out amazing. We canceled the wedding place that we booked.
Mm-hmm. For the 500.
For the 500 people. Then we planned 2 weddings. One for the family. Like we said, okay, you do it by the book, like with the rabbi in the religious way and chuppah. And so we said we're going to do this. So no matter what will happen, we will still do this with the family and the friends of the family and our, let's say, the older people. So we planned a wedding for 180 people.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Thursday, and it was magical. It was at a villa in the center of Israel, in Kfar Mas. It's like, a beautiful villa. And then we decided, okay, we have to do also something for our friends. So
because we have to.
We have to.
Too many friends and love party.
Yeah. So as you understand, we love music and festivals.
Yeah, festivals is our life.
And so we did two days wedding in the north in Achziv Beach. So there's this glamping. We booked the whole place, and
beautiful. So
yeah.
And they slept there, and it was.
So it started Friday afternoon until Sunday noon.
So you literally had like a nature party.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With all the best
weekend of like non-nature and nature.
It was magical.
So fun.
It was really magical.
At that point, you were a producer of festivals.
At that point, I was already producer of festivals. I've done festivals before. I've done it at that point for, it was like 7 or 8 years already. And of course, we could have made this happen, this 2-day wedding, because also all of my friends that I work with, my co-producers, they helped us organize all of this. Otherwise, it will be, it will be too like, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So I have my team, my best friends.
Right.
I went to the parties, by the way.
You went to the Nova parties?
I went
to
the Tzatlan Shama parties, which is the
first brand.
First brand that they had. And I loved it. It was like my favorite parties. I actually didn't know Ofir at that time. We only met in Midburn.
He was following me for many years.
Yeah, it was. You were like always parallel, but we didn't know. So by the way, the parties were amazing. It was fun, beautiful people. And so I really knew that part of Ofir's life has always been music and festivals. And even when we met, I really saw how he shines when he works on festivals and how he loves it, the music and the people, and having a gathering for that. So I always kind of was really happy for him for that. There was a side of me that was like, okay, it's still keeping him in the festival life, but he loved it. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And then when the wedding turned out very good with the help of everyone, I was like, okay, this is why we need them.
Wait, so Tzatlan Neshama started in 2014?
Something like that, yeah. Around 2014.
Okay.
This is when we started our first small
gatherings,
and we started our community, and it was like 500 people at the beginning. But Tzatlan Shama, we always kept it like 1,000 people, small festivals in the area around Tel Aviv.
Okay.
And Nova started right after COVID.
Okay.
So we had a few Nova's party before our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And Nova when we started Nova, it was already okay. This is going to be, we're going to do big festivals with Nova. Setlan Shama is only doing like Saturday, we call it after party, like from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m., a day party. But Nova is going to do festivals 24 hours with night and day, and yeah.
Setlan Shama was more like in the Tel Aviv
Like
area.
boutique rave.
Yeah, but also in the center of Israel.
Center of
But they're
Israel,
looking for
yeah.
like, going very far from home. So,
The crowd is a little bit older,
yeah.
and let's say the average is 30 something, 34 at Satlan Shama, and at Nova the average is like 27,
Okay.
the age. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you guys get into trance music?
I think for me it was right after the army.
Okay.
Yeah.
I traveled. I traveled right after the army, Central and South America. And when you travel, trance parties like that, they're everywhere in Central and South America. So this is when this is when my passion began.
It's funny because I have the same story of after the army that I started going to parties.
I think you first time you get exposed to trance parties when you travel.
Exactly.
That's what I found with a lot of the people that I've met is that when they travel is when they started getting into trance.
So after the army I went to basically Central America for my huge trip, and then I visited Brazil as well, and there was a huge trance festival which my older brother told me about, but I wasn't exposed to that music at that time. And I went to Universo Paralelo, which is comes back to what Nova.
It's one of the biggest festivals in Brazil.
And it was the brand that was basically on October 7th with the Nova. But I think that was like the point where I started understanding, the music and the love for music and people and nature and everything that Ofir keeps on saying about, the dance floor is exactly where I saw it first there. And I was a kid. I was like 20.
Yeah.
So, and it's still, it stayed with me. And then I came back to Israel and I started going to your Satlan Shama parties. Everything is parallel. I keep on saying, and as Ofir is saying, like we've been parallel in a lot of things.
Wow.
So my first festival I went to, and we just saw it also on. It's funny because my first festival was 2014.
Yeah.
I went to Ozora Festival, and then she shows me a picture of her in Universo Paralelo. It jumped on her Facebook. So she shows me the picture, and I say, look, it's 2014.
Same year.
You were first time, it's like your first big festival, and she had no idea where she is.
Right.
And for me, it was right after, I was in Goa that year, and then I went to the Ozora Festival.
We Americans, like the average American, we're not like I'm not a trance music person. What is it about Israelis that love trance music? I think we don't understand it because we don't understand what it's like to live in Israel. I've lived in Israel for chunks of time, but like the tension and being in the army, and I feel like there must be some piece of trance music of like letting go and letting loose and wanting to dance, and that like we as Americans don't necessarily understand in the same way.
So, there is something happening, first of all, I love every music. Okay. We go also to other festivals, Burning Man. It's not about trance music. We like house, we like, techno, we like all kinds of music. But something happens on the dance floor when you're at a trance music festival. Like you said, like this freedom.
Yeah.
And what's special about the scene, this trance music community, the global community, is that you don't need money to enjoy a trance festival.
Yeah.
There are no tables, there are no VIP areas. I always say this, when we're in the dance floor, we're all the same, and it's really like that. So you're on the same level with everyone. And it doesn't matter how much money you have or where you come from. It doesn't matter. When, you dance next to each other. And once you have that cleared, that you're on the same level. And at this dance floor, all of my best friends that are in my life today, and I have a lot of friends, there are people that I met at the dance floor or at a good other place at the party, but places where, where your heart is open, You can see each other on a different level. There's a lot of energy going on a dance floor like this. And this is the same what happened to us at
See?
Midburn. You're at this place. You have no worries because you get very after 2 days you're already there. You feel you are connected to the ground, to the nature, to the people, to the vibe, and because Burning Man, Midburn, it's a whole different planet. And we always say we wish our lives would be like that.
Yeah.
That that everyone is nice and everyone you don't have to ask questions and everyone wants
There's
to
no
help you.
money.
And yeah, you can't pay anything, but
You
there is
gain
something
love.
about these values that
Mm.
that you see and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So at the trance dance floor, you see these values, on the highest level. People are kind to each other.
Mm-hmm.
People love you and respect each other, and you have space to dance. And if you drop something, immediately someone picks it up, and people come and hug you for no reason. And I think for every person to walk through a dance hall like this, it's giving you something.
Yeah.
So of course it happens to Israelis at a young age because after the army, we have the need to go to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So half of the Israelis, they go to Central and South America, and the other half goes to the east, like India and Philippines, and so when they go to India, India is the heart, the beating heart. That everything started there.
Yeah.
The trance music scene. A bunch of hippies in the 80s. Ilan can tell you about
Oh,
it.
he was already on the podcast.
Oh, yes, we told you.
Yeah, he told me.
So he's one of them.
Yeah.
But, everything starts there. And when there is something special about it.
Ofir, I feel like I've gotten to know you pretty well, and you have such amazing energy. Every time you come here, you see the same people and you give everybody a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you like producing music? Like festivals and stuff like that, to provide that type of love and hug for all the people that you...
Probably, yes. That's who I am.
Yeah.
This is how I always used to be. Friendly. I got that smile from my mom. And when I was young, I didn't know it was like, kids are the way kids are. And when I was younger, I didn't know it was my superpower.
Mm.
To be kind and to smile and to be the way I am. And then, you grow up, you evolve, and of course, through the dance floor, through the music, making other people happy. When you produce a festival, with 2 dance floors, 4,000 people come and you see them dancing and smiling. It's like, we made this happen. We talk to each other as the producers. It's like unbelievable. Look how many people we are making happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lifestyle. It's a way of how we live. It's how we see the world.
Same for me. I mean, everything he says is back to me. I think from the start, we accepted each other, like truthfully,
Yeah.
in our way of life. And as I said before, he was always producing festivals. It was part of him. So even if my head was like, okay, he's doing parties, I saw him being so happy and I wanted to accept that part of him.
Yeah.
Because
So
I could leave the festivals because I have a business with my brother in Berlin. We're going back and forth, and
Like,
why she
yeah.
asked me why are you doing this, and I told her, listen, it's keeping me connected to my best friends
Yeah.
and to so many people, and the real estate, it's okay, it's business, and then I'm working with my brothers, and I have friends in Berlin. It's very nice, but I cannot express myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 100% at this business. And so this was like for me the perfect match because I had also this and also this.
We have the very serious part of us of, doing business in the real world, I would say that. And then the other part of both of us that we go to parties and we, forget about work and worries and we just enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
So
you had your first festival. When was your first festival? For Nova.
For Nova, but it was right after COVID. It started also small, but this time we knew where we want to go with this, like with Zetlan Shama, it was very clear we're going to do these day parties, 1,000 people tops, and we don't, we want to keep it this way. This was our strategy. But with Nova, we knew, okay, it's going to get bigger. And it was also right after COVID, and we knew like so many like new young people. They have been now in like, there was a time in the last, before we started Nova, that deep house and techno and all this kind of music like took over Israel, and all the major festivals were techno and less trance music. But then we saw the shifting again of all these young people coming back from South America, and they're going to trance parties, and so we meet these amazing young kids who became our co-producers, and with them we start this new brand. And then, we mix it with their community, these 22, 23-year-old kids, and with our people
Right.
that are 40 plus already, 37 plus.
So you had your first after COVID. Did you go, Lior?
No, I actually didn't. I remember that Nova was like for the younger kids, I would say. And also it was like big festivals. And, if you remember, I started a new job.
Right.
So I really wanted to focus on it. And, I was focusing on our wedding. There's a lot of things going on. I didn't go to Nova. I remember I wanted once, and then it just didn't turn out to be a possibility, but I always wanted to.
You never went to a Nova festival?
No, I only went to Zetlan Shama. Yeah. I actually always say that when I got pregnant, before October 7th, I kept on saying, once I'm gonna, have Eliana, then I'm gonna go to a Nova party. And on October 7th, I was so sad I didn't go because he kept on talking about it for so long. So
yeah. But when we started Nova, it was already at a stage that she said, okay, why is continuing doing these festivals? And
I knew we were going to have
Shama, why do also Nova? And so, yeah. So also, I missed also a few of the first Novas because we were in Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time. So when we used to come back, it was, we had like 2 weeks now in Tel Aviv. So you have family, my family, her family, and friends, and you need this. To go to a festival, suddenly, 2 days and then recover, it was not our her first priority.
Right.
And I also used to come, a little bit later. When it was 24 hours, I used to come in the morning, just, to be present and to
famous what happened on
get what I can get. Yeah.
So what was your intention of this last Nova?
So she was already 9 months pregnant.
Literally.
Literally. And
last month on October 7th.
And we discussed this a lot because what are we going to do next as a couple, as a family, soon to be a bigger family.
Yeah.
And I didn't we planned to move to Berlin. This was our major plan because I told her I don't want to miss 1 second of Eliana growing up. And she cannot, obviously, when she gives birth, she can't come with me to Berlin every week.
It would just be tougher.
So they all came with the idea, and she said like, okay, so let's move to Berlin.
Yeah.
So everything was already prepared.
We packed.
We left Tel Aviv on September 1st, 2
Yeah.
months before Nova.
I was like really pregnant already.
We left our apartment in Tel Aviv. We moved to her parents in
Yeah.
Shavim.
Everything was like really planned out.
Like you were going to give birth in Israel.
Yeah, I was going to give birth in Israel, be there for, 2-3 months until Eliana grows up to be able to go on a plane. And then off to Berlin we go. Everything was planned. The house was packed. We left Tel Aviv. We said, that part is done. Ofir left Tel Aviv, I think, after like more than 10 years. Something like that. I left Tel Aviv after 5. I was like, okay, I'm done.
So moving to her parents next 2-3 months. And so Nova, October 7th, was one of my last... I plan on like moving to Berlin. The plan was that I will still be, a small shareholder of this company. And basically Purim afterwards was supposed to be official, my last Nova festival as a co-producer.
I remember the night before he went. I actually I don't know how I remember it because my memory's not so good. And I told him, like, enjoy. because
It's a lot.
is
It's a lot.
this is literally going to be your last party. And when I'm saying this, I'm tearing up because I didn't understand how big my words are going to be.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was thinking of, and I remember that, is I was so mad at Ofir because our friends went to Bruno Mars on Friday or Thursday, and they said it was amazing. You have to go. And the entire time, ever since like they finished the concert Friday and Saturday,
Did a few concerts in Israel, like a day after day.
I was like, I'm getting us tickets. I'm getting us tickets. And then I kept on texting Ofir on Friday before the party. I was like, Ofir, I don't think he was
By the
home. I was
way-
like, I'm getting tickets. You have to come back and you have to be okay because we're going. Like Saturday night, we're in Pakayakon. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm 9 months pregnant, but I'm going. And he's like, okay, I'll try to. I was like, no, you don't understand. You need to be okay for this concert. So going to sleep was like telling him to enjoy the party and me thinking about I'm waking up and I'm getting us tickets. So
By the way, many of my friends, they came because they planned to go to Bruno Mars concert that evening. They planned to come very late, like in the morning, to be a little bit at Nova and then go to the concert.
Okay.
And this saved them.
it saved him at
Wow.
It saved them. I think I
Not
met
a
one of them, Ido Segal. He was like, he planned to leave, very, like to sleep all night, to start
his
at
girlfriend.
Nova and then go to the evening to go to the concert. And this saved some of them.
Yeah, he woke up from the sirens. So
Wow.
so that's until
Yeah. So
29.
I'm going to the Nova Festival.
So what time did you leave?
So we had Friday Shabbat dinner at my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, he just came from Berlin to visit. We came back very late, like I think 1 a.m. or something like that. So I said, okay, I will sleep a little bit. The festival already started
Yeah.
on Friday 11 p.m. So I will sleep a little bit and then I will go there a little bit before the sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I have a little, and she's 9 months pregnant. I didn't want to go away for now 2 days.
You want to add that I really wanted to go to Nova, not because it was Ophir kept on talking about it because it was a festival and I missed festivals, but I was 9 months pregnant and it was far away from home, so the thought of just driving the whole time was like too much for me. And I always tell Ophir, like, if it was close, because I think 2 or 3 weeks before it was like a Ktatlan Shema party that we all went to, like all of our friends. But I remember like me thinking, if it was even closer.
Yeah.
I think I even checked Google Maps to see how far I was from home.
How far? It's like an hour.
She came to the Katan Shama a month
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
She came.
I came. It was
It was 20 minutes from home.
exactly
But this was like an hour and a
an
half.
hour and a half. I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense.
When you planned it, were you concerned about it being near the Gaza border?
We did another festival there, Purim, 6 months earlier. Midburn was supposed to be 2 weeks after October 7th with 15,000
Yeah.
attendees. We were supposed to go. There were 2 more other festivals that night going on in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are 100,000 people living there around Gaza. So, and Israel is very small and it's not easy to do a festival in Israel because, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And
We always do festivals in the South. It's like it's a really known thing. It wasn't a
so
surprise.
in the south, in this area, you have a lot of open fields. You can put on music during the night. You don't
Yeah.
disturb the neighbors.
Right.
And so, no, we had no concern because at the end, this is Israel.
Yeah.
People live there.
Yeah.
And we got the permits.
Exactly.
Can tell you, 6 months earlier, we planned to do Purim party, like Israeli Halloween.
Yeah.
Also big festival, 4,000 people. So the original date was on Purim weekend, and 4 days before it was in a different area. It was like north to the Dead Sea, and like 5 days before the event supposed to happen, the army cancels the permit. They tell us, listen, guys, it's this area. It's too dangerous to bring so many people. We cannot protect you.
Mm-hmm.
So they cancel the permit. And, no one cares how, we lost like over $150,000 on because of that
Right.
cancellation, and no one in the country says, okay, let's compensate you or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we postpone. We find a new location. We postpone it for another week, and this was one of our best Nova parties. It was the Purim party, and we lost a lot of money on that party. But at the end, when you do something like this and we make so many people happy, you don't care. We say, okay, next one will be better, and we get the money back. But this is the life of a producer in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it was never our main job. Every one of us has his own business, and we did it really not because of the money, because we love this, because it's our passion.
So you go to sleep.
I go to sleep. I wake up at around
With me.
3 a.m. I'm getting ready. My friend that's supposed to come with me is telling me, okay, I'm going to sleep a little bit longer. And so I'm driving alone on the road. I'm hearing this beautiful song. I don't remember the song.
We have to let you listen to this because the words of the song that he sent me.
Maybe I find it. So
You have to find it.
hear this, and I'm sending her this song, so she wakes up with a smile.
And I was sleeping, and my phone is always on silent.
Okay.
So
No, I didn't even wake up for a minute.
So we have our songs and that, we have our songs over the years that we hear, but this was a different song I never heard before, like we didn't listen to before, and I'm sending it to her, and I usually don't do that. So the song says, the name of the song is James Arthur, Say You Won't Let Go. This is the song. And then here I see 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
and then 5 a.m. an hour later, exactly an hour later, it's like 4:09 and then 5:09.
With my brother.
I'm sending her a picture with her brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so my brother was up.
Very happy
Oh my gosh.
with her brother.
Ofir, you look different.
He does.
That's why
He does.
people smile.
Because October 7th changed us. So at 5:09, he sends me the picture, he sends me the song, saying, well, let me go. The words are there.
Did you know her brother was going to be at the party?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, it was his first Nova festival.
It was your brother's first.
And Ofir was like convincing him to come because, my brother actually loves festivals.
I always put him on the list and he never comes.
Yeah.
I told him this time, if you have to come, otherwise I will never put you
On the list again. I was like, okay, my brother's like, okay, I'm coming with all of his friends.
Yes.
Like 6 different friends.
Yeah, they came, like 4 of them.
And my brother came at like 1 a.m.
He came early.
Like very early.
Oh,
They had all like camping at 3. They all they had a whole camping and chairs and a tent. Like they really came to a festival.
like everyone does when they come to a festival.
Yeah.
Like the camping area, it's amazing
Beautiful.
how much effort and how they build it. It's like, because it's their home for the next 24 hours.
You probably have seen pictures from it.
Well, I haven't seen pictures of like the people's camps, but even just looking there and seeing the things that people chose to bring with them
yeah.
is kind of interesting.
Like home.
Yeah, like their pillows and their like,
Yeah, their notebooks that they write.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, like people really put effort into their camp.
Yeah. Yeah. So your side of the story. I mean, mine
So
opened up at 6:29.
You're still sleeping.
I'm still sleeping. Thinking of the tickets for Bruno Mars.
I'm walking through the festival. I see her brother. I see other friends. I meet Sassi. I go with him. He shows me like around because it's dark.
Yeah.
So he shows me everything, like
Have
how
you
amazing.
the property before and stuff like that?
My role in this company is the back office, so I don't
That's your role?
finance, accounting, all this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm going there. So I have another job which takes 90% of my time. So
Yeah.
during the week I work. Also when I'm in Israel, I work from home. So I don't have the time to go to see the venue and to see the place and be there when they build everything. We have the production team. For the Sassi, for example,
Yeah.
he was there every day for the whole week.
Yeah.
And so
It as well. Yeah.
so I see what we've accomplished from a distance.
Yeah.
And then at 6:29, I'm standing behind the main stage, behind the DJ, with Razi, also one of the producers. He's here in Miami, also part of this exhibition. And we talk to each other. We hear noise, and we walk to the front of the stage, and then we see in the sky all the rockets. And then he asked me, "Do you think they will shut us down?" And I look at him and said, "This is what we have the Iron Dome for, no?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you live in Israel, rockets, it's not something new." And so immediately the police comes running. We see them immediately. Like when I didn't even finish my sentence, they shut down the music. They go on stage. Tzeva Adom, red alert, tells everyone the festival is over and they should evacuate. And from that moment, we help the police to evacuate everyone. And then she calls me
Yeah.
at around 7 a.m.
No, I think wasn't it 6:29 at the same time.
No, it was
Anyway, I called Ofir.
Like I got an alert on your phone.
Okay, let's now move to my side of the story. I wake up, I'm 9 months pregnant, 2 sirens on a Saturday morning in Israel, which let me just give everyone the idea of what happens. We don't live in the south of Israel where they're used to these every day for 20 years already. I live in Hod HaSharon. It's like the center of Israel. There wasn't any war going on. It wasn't something that we were expecting. So I wake up, I literally thought it's like by mistake. So I open up the window and then I actually hear sirens. My parents come down, I'm shivering, come down to the safe room, right? I don't know how you call it,
Yeah.
Mamad's.
bomb shelter.
Bomb shelter, sorry. And they go down and they put me in and I was like, what? So I called Ofir. I was like, hi, baby. And then he goes, what? Like, you have sirens in the center of Israel as well.
Why are you awake on
Why are you awake?
morning at 7 a.m.?
I was like, I have sirens.
I'm in the bomb shelter. We have sirens. I said, what?
What?
What I'm seeing
Like,
here is...
Super surprised.
Yeah.
And then,
Wait, so you're getting in Tel Aviv. Were you concerned that Ofir was in?
so, funny thing
Because
is,
usually that's where the rockets come from.
right. So, Ofir says, Iron Dome. I said, I text Ofir. I was like, baby, just, take care of yourself. I know that as the producers, I still have the text from you. You have to stay there to, make sure everyone evacuated. Now, listen, this has happened in the past where, parties are evacuated. So I know that he stays behind and he's always the last one to go. I wasn't worried. We have the Iron Dome. We're good. I mean, it wasn't even a thought. Like, I didn't even tell him to come home,
Yeah.
which now I'm thinking about it. It wasn't even a concern.
I was more concerned about her
Yeah.
in a bomb shelter in Israel, in Tel Aviv,
Then
like in the center, than about us. Like, because
'Cause-
everything that I'm seeing, they're shooting at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
I mean,
this is how we saw it. This
Yeah.
is what we thought.
so we were there, and then think about the fact that Ofir was at the party, so he was in the party, but 7 a.m. was sitting at the bomb shelter, and that's where things, started to unravel.
Were you nervous being in the bomb shelter?
I wasn't. No, I was not at all.
First,
But what happened? It was a Saturday morning, and then my dad goes, like, "What is going on?" And then we try to open up the news channels, and nothing is on because it's a Saturday and everyone keeps Shabbat. So no one goes on. There's nothing to tell. And the only thing I started getting texts from people, and they weren't even talking about the party yet. It's like, are you okay? Because everyone was in the shelter. So like my friends were like, is everyone awake? Are you okay? Our friends didn't go to the party. Stav. They didn't go to the party because they were like the bomb shelter. But we didn't even, we were like, okay, it's just, sirens. It'll be 2 days and we're done. And I'm sitting with my parents, and the only thing I'm hearing is I don't remember who I called that minute because that day is a bit, blurry for me. But she was like, there is something going on Telegram, and I don't have Telegram.
and this is like 7 a.m.
I think it was like 7:30, I guess.
Right. Like things probably started getting documented around.
So, and then at around, okay, and then Ofir, and then me and Ofir speak. I tell him like, be safe.
From now on,
And then we're out of the shelter. And then we go sit next to the TV. That's when my day started.
And the TV didn't yet have
The only thing they had, which was so weird, is like in Israel when there are sirens, on the right hand side of the TV, you see the names of the places with the sirens. So for like 10 minutes, I see sirens and sirens and sirens and sirens, and no
you
one's.
have a list of all the cities. It goes like this. And
It's
then it
like
changes.
orange.
It's
And you just see the sirens, and there's nothing. There's like commercials, like fun, happy commercials. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then to Ofir back, I think I call him again. I don't.
So we speak like every
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, we speak.
From that moment, we speak every 15 minutes.
You're still on site.
I'm on site. I'm telling her, don't worry. We have the police here,
Yeah.
police station.
I'm like, okay, good.
We have the paramedics, and yeah, we will wait for the rockets to stop, and we will come home.
Yeah.
We just have to figure out like how many security guards we leave on site, so no one steals the whole equipment, and we'll come home soon. I'll let you know.
And then at 8 a.m., we sit in front of the TV, and the first video that comes up is a video from Sderot of a white pickup truck with, I think, around like 10 or 11 terrorists with Kalashnikovs sitting in the pickup truck with their guns on them, literally patrolling the city. And this video came from a window of someone from their homes, from their home. So it wasn't even on the news. It was just like, it just appeared on TV. It was just like crazy. And then I called them again. I was like, they're a terrorist. No, we're speaking about our story, but think about the fact that my brother was at the party as well.
Yeah.
So at the same time,
Your parents are like in hysteria.
my parents didn't understand.
No, it took everyone in
Hours to understand.
Our luck was that like I want to keep her safe. I don't want to tell her. When I realize that they're terrorists and they start shooting at us, I don't want her to know. So our luck was that it took a lot, many
Hours
until the media, until the news,
Exactly.
until anyone knew what's really going on.
So
My parents, I just have to add that my parents with my brother kept on, same as Ofir said, I'm coming back. My brother was like, okay, the sirens are going to stop. We're already on the way to the car. We're coming. Like, we're on the way to Tel Aviv. So then they actually went into the car, by the way. There's like a really known video of my brother going out of the car when he starts running. But they actually went into the car, and my sister-in-law, she started hearing some things, and she kept on calling him and telling him, like, you need to leave. And they said, okay, we're leaving. But, it just took, there was like a lot of traffic on the way out. There were like too many cars, and people were trying to get out. So my brother was a bit delayed. So at the same time that I'm speaking to him, I'm speaking to my brother, and it's like I'm hearing two different stories. Ofir is like super calm. Everything is fine.
you're still on the property.
He's on the property.
I'm on the property, and I'm talking to her brother at around 7:15.
Yeah.
Because I know, like 45 minutes after the rocket started, I already got the first message that there was a terrorist and someone got shot on the way out of the festival.
Which we had
So
no idea.
You already knew by 7:15
By
that
7:15, and again, I didn't know it was again, we heard about that someone is injured. We thought it was maybe a criminal or something.
Yeah.
Not terrorists.
right.
Yeah.
But even though, then we understand, okay, there was another shooting and someone else. So I'm speaking to a brother, and I'm telling him, listen, when you drive out, don't drive this way, because I know that someone got injured there. Telling the name of the village, don't go this way. And then this is the last time we spoke, I think, and he said, yeah, no problem, no worries. I said, don't go this way. There are terrorists there. But still, I had no idea, how many terrorists there were.
Right. The magnitude.
Yeah.
So then once you found out at like 7:15, you did not tell Lior.
No,
Thing.
no. I told her that I'm with Sasi. Me and Sasi, we went, through the whole camping area to see that everyone left, their tents and evacuated. Because when you hear the siren at the festival area, you have like 15 seconds to get to a bomb shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she heard the siren, she had like in the center of Israel, she has like a minute and a half,
yeah.
or like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
which is very long.
Right.
You can walk down this. You don't have to run all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
He doesn't tell me anything.
I get the news, and I tell him don't drive this way, and I'm not telling her obviously. And then we get, as time goes by, the more and more injured people coming back to the paramedic station, and still, we know, we have the police here, the army is here, supposed to be there. And when terrorists attack, then, they usually, in Israel, they get neutralized in 10, 15 minutes.
2 weeks before. with Oreshkar in Tel Aviv. It was
Yeah. Well, we always unfortunately have terror attacks in Tel Aviv.
Oh, that
ends in
and the
ends in like 10, 15 minutes. It's not something that we.
right.
So at around 8 o'clock, this is when the terrorists start surrounding us. A good friend of mine, she was also in charge, like the the manager of the bar. She was treating these people that got wounded, and later on, when 30 minutes later, the terrorists came. We see them coming. They first killed all the police officers because the police officers, they blocked the main road. And then we see them with the pickup trucks, the white pickup trucks. Everyone was like, we knew afterwards that all the terrorists came with white pickup trucks. That's like a sign
Yeah.
of terrorists. And so we see them surrounding us, coming from every direction. And it's very important to know they had no idea about the festival.
Yeah.
When the terrorists came into Israel, they had a very clear plan, each terrorist where he goes, and they were supposed to go further into Israel. And there were also terrorists with paragliders. And then when they saw that something's happening there, they called their friends to come back. There's a festival here. Don't go further into Israel. Come back here. We know that because of all the interrogations by the police and the Shabak, and so they told us this, that for sure they had no idea about the festival. So around 8, we see them. They start shooting into the crowd, into all the people that are next to me. We hear the bullets next to us. We understand that, and I think I was also talking to her on the phone at that time.
I have to say something because you're already in the bullets, but we sit in front of the TV, and my sister-in-law comes in home, I think around 8, speaking to my brother, crying, like literally crying. I was like, Amit, her name is. I was like, Amit, why are you crying? So like, everything is okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's sirens. It's a couple of terrorists. I didn't even think they went to the party. I literally thought they were in Sderot, in the city. There's a police station. Police were guarded. There's an army in the south. I used to serve in Golani. I was like an educator of the combat soldiers, and we were like in the south. It was like we were there. There was a lot of army. There was a lot of police. I knew that Ofir's party is totally legal with all the permits. I knew there's police and the army knows of the party, and so I was like, I wasn't even worried about it. She comes in crying. She's like, no, you don't understand the magnitude of this. I was like, okay. I mean, it's, again, as Ofir said, it took us hours, like literally hours, until today. It's like, it's unimaginable what happened and the magnitude of the numbers of terrorists that were there. But we keep on speaking, and I speak to him, I think every, I don't know, again, 10, 15 minutes.
Every 5-10 minutes.
On the phone, not.
Yeah, on the phone. And he's like, I'm okay. I was like, okay, good.
Do you hear anything in the background?
No. Until
we escaped.
you
We
escape.
saw the terrorists. We escaped in the car. We jumped like 5-7 feet to the car.
Wait, before that, I was like, Ofir, who are you with? He goes, I'm with Sassi. And then he adds Yagir. And which you weren't with him at one point, but he lied, which is okay now saying, but he's like, I'm with Yagir and he has a gun. So it's like, okay, that's,
Oh, it's
good.
told we have police officers. We're like,
Yeah, he's like,
don't worry.
where like he said Yagil because he knew I knew him. So like for me, it was, like, okay, you're safe. You're good. And then I didn't hear anything. I didn't even hear screaming. I didn't even hear anything. I think I was so not thinking of that. So I wasn't, aware of the situation. I was just listening to him.
Imagine we were there and we didn't want to believe. Like your mind is like, keeping you safe and not going that far. So she's at home and they see nothing on the news. They just know something is going on.
Like again,
Oh,
there's nothing.
why
Dude,
should
at
we-
8 a.m. There is nothing on the news.
Yeah.
But videos are coming in.
Mm.
And then I'm starting to
No.
lie to her that everything is okay.
Yeah.
So why should she worry?
It was like, baby, I'm fine. Now listen, again, I trust Ofir. I don't. We never lie to each other except when we need to. So I didn't even think that he's lying to me. And then again, and I keep on saying this. There's nothing on the news. One thing that happened, I think it was around 9 a.m. when you started escaping. one of the reporters, I think it was one of the news channel, he came on with like his pajama. He goes, "Hi everyone. We knew you woke up from the sirens. There are still sirens going on in Israel." He wasn't even sure what's going on. Like he himself wasn't sure. I think they just literally told him to start,
So
talking from home.
so I know because I heard like the news. This guy's on the news, and then he gets phone calls.
That happened after you started escaping. But yeah, it wasn't the first thing that they said on TV.
So we are trying to escape, and it's already around 9:30, and
Yeah.
then
So 9:30 was like when you ended up leaving the property.
between 9 and 9:30 we left the property because when we escaped the terrorists the first time, we came to the parking area, we jumped into a car. We were driving there back and forth for the next 30, 40 minutes because we didn't know where to go. We knew already that there are terrorists, but we were sure
That it will be over soon.
that
Right?
that the army is there. We hear a tank.
Mm.
When a tank is going there, I also told her,
You also told me.
I told her, don't worry. The army is here. We have police officers. There's a tank.
There was a tank. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
a tank.
So
No.
we hear the tank. We don't know that at that time that the tank was already
Yeah.
all the soldiers in the except one were
Just
killed.
when
So the tank was because there were bodies inside. The tank was keep on driving
yeah.
and
There was-
without anyone in it and going over cars. This is what we heard. We heard the stories afterwards.
Yeah.
So we hear the tank and we are sure that everything is fine. But then we knew, okay, we saw the terrorists again and we had to escape. We drive through the open fields and around 9:30, a little bit before 10, again, I'm in the car. We're speaking on the phone and
Yeah.
that's when we see like 5 terrorists.
And again, I was totally chill. 9 months pregnant. I was pretty chill to my 9 months pregnant. And I do want to say, in parallel, there's my brother.
Right.
So my brother at that time started running to Patish, which he has another crazy story. My brother, of course, every story is crazy. But I mean, he was on the way to a kibbutz, and then the guy that they were supposed to come to his home, don't remember the name of the kibbutz, said to them, "Do not come. There are terrorists here." And later we found out that he was murdered with his entire family in their home. So my brother was on the way to a certain kibbutz, and then in the middle of this craziness, this guy saved his life.
So before the terrorists came at 8 a.m. and killed all the police officers, her brother was supposed to go to Be'eri, to his
Be'eri,
kibbutz,
exactly.
because his friend lives there. And then their friend told him, don't come here. They come to the main road where the police is, and the police tell them, guys, cross the main road. Cross 232. 232. This is the main road. There's only one road. When you when you go out the festival, there's one road, south or north, and it's 232. So he got lucky because he got rescued. The police told him, cross the main road, run towards east.
East, yeah.
And this is, the police call it the golden hour. This is when most of the people, and
Hundreds.
thousands, because we have 3,500 survivors.
Yeah.
This is when most of the people survived because the police told them to cross the road, and they ran towards Patish or Fakim, all these areas. And he was running for a few hours until he reached.
Yeah, he ran for 13 kilometers. And at that time, that Ofir is telling me that everything is okay. He was running and telling us that he's running, hearing gunshots in the background. And there's a really, and I said it before, there's a really known video of my brother, literally the video of October 7th, one of them, like going out of his car because they understood there's no way to go with the car and started running. And that's when they crossed the road of 232. So it was like two different stories.
Right.
And I didn't understand. I thought my brother was in trouble and not Ofir, because Ofir was next to police and Ofir was next to the paramedics. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
Supposedly.
supposedly.
So you were hearing your brother running aimlessly, and Ofir is like, yeah,
I'm chill.
we're Gucci. Like,
Have police, have guns, we're good, we're safe.
were you calm?
Uh,
Like, were you?
When I spoke to her, I was calm.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of stress in the car, yellings in the car. We were like 7 people, and
Mhm.
one of them didn't stop yelling the whole time, like, the terrorist there, terrorist is, calling the police, yelling at the police. send someone now. There are terrorists here. We're getting shot at. It was like very stressful.
Chaos.
And so when we see the terrorists, until that moment, I was like, okay, again, your mind doesn't want to believe, and that it's that bad. And so we see the terrorists. They immediately open fire on us. I got hit. The bullet went through the car door, through my right leg and to my left. My friend that was sitting in front of me also got hit. You hear the glasses are
Shattered.
shattered, and when I got hit, I'm speaking with her on the phone.
We spoke. The minute he got hit, we were on the phone because we kept on speaking, and he got into the car.
So I got hit, my phone drops.
And I heard the shots. And I was screaming to my father at home. He actually, until this day, remembers that moment because we were sitting, my father and me. And I do want to say something that I remember now. They started speaking. So remember, it was like 9:30. They started speaking after the kibbutzim and all that. They started saying, there's a party in Re'im. And I knew that Ofir is in Re'im. And of course, I knew that he's at the party, but they started speaking about it. So there started to be like something like a movement of speaking about the party. They said there's a party in Re'im. There's like thousands of young people there. And that was the moment where people started texting me. Because people knew that Ofir was at a party in Re'im. Our friends knew, people knew, and people kept on basically wanted to know, how's Ofir? And so the whole time, I'm smiling because everyone was telling me this after October 7th. Everyone was calling me, and I was like, guys, chill. Like, Ofir is fine.
I didn't answer. Like, everyone called us as well, but we didn't answer.
I answered.
I answered only Lior and only my father because I knew, okay, I have to save my battery. And everyone was calling us to see if we were safe. So I didn't answer, and then they started to call her.
And everyone was like calling me, and I was like, guys, it's okay. Like, he's fine. There's police. The party's legal. I kept on saying it. Don't worry. There's permits. There's army. There's police. They're going to be okay. They're in a really, really safe place. Ofir keeps on telling me we're safe. So the whole time, I'm letting people feel super comfortable about the situation and not even letting them worry where my brother, I'm worried for my brother. Like, my brother is running from terrorists. And I'm worried about my brother. And there was even a moment where I asked Ofir, like, where's my brother? And I didn't even think of the fact that he is the one, both were in trouble. But I didn't even think about that because it didn't even cross my mind.
Right.
So, literally, and when he was shot,
I'm dropping the phone.
I was screaming to my father. I heard gunshots.
And then
the only words I said.
So the first thing I do after I got shot, I felt immediately that I got shot. And everyone is yelling in the car. We drive away. We manage to escape them. And the first thing I do, I'm picking up the phone. I'm searching for my phone. I'm picking it up. It's full with blood. So I cannot open it because the screen is with blood. So I need to clean the screen. And I managed to call her. And
you did that.
Did you hear anything else? You just heard the shot? And
no.
That was
nothing. And then he called me like everything is okay.
And then I called her and I told her everything is good.
He's like, no, baby, don't worry about it. Yeah, they keep on shooting here in the back.
Yeah.
It was like something like that.
Don't worry, everything's good.
I felt calmer in a way, but then came the message that changed my whole day. And I'm tearing up when I'm saying this because he was speaking, he was okay, he was fine. And then I think after he was shot, when they got to the field, he calls me and he goes, we need a rescue. So I was like, what do you mean you need a rescue? You were okay up to like 5 minutes ago. You had police, you had an army. Why would you need a rescue? Like, how do we get a rescue to you? There's so many things. There's the kibbutzim and Sderot and everything is going on. And I mean, you're supposed to be fine. And then he's like, there are people wounded here. She was like, wounded. And then we stopped talking. I started crying. And we stopped talking, and I didn't think it was him. He said, there are people wounded, we need help. I was like, okay, I'm going to call. I was like, Ofir, I'm wasting time speaking to you. I'm going to call everyone I know. And we started calling everyone we knew. to get a rescue. And then he sent me a voice message, and he's super calm. And remember, he's shot. And he goes, "Hi, Ovati. Hi, my love. I'm sending you my location. We need rescue to this location.
Send it to everyone.
Send it to everyone,
And in the background,
And then,
in the background of this voice message, you hear my friend that was also sitting in the car, was lying next to me, and you hear him moaning from the pain, and she didn't hear that.
which I didn't hear because I never knew that it's something I should. And it took us, I think, like months until we came back to this message. And then I heard it and I was like, oh my God. You literally hear him saying, like, I'm hurt. And I think that message really changed my day. Because from thinking about my brother and how we rescue him, at that time, by the way, when Ofir was shot, my brother got safely to Patish, which again, like the Golden Hour, was one of the only kibbutzim that wasn't invaded by terrorists, and he was saved. And they get to Patish and his phone dies. So for 30 minutes, we had no contact with him. But, I was like, okay, my brother is fine, Ofir is fine. And I don't remember those hours. They're very blurry to me. The only thing my mom was telling me, and by the way, I didn't brush my teeth that day. I literally went to sit in front of the TV right after the siren. My mom was like, you need to drink, you need to eat. I was like, I'm not going to do that. My husband needs me. And she goes, but your daughter needs you as well. And I wasn't even able to like deal with all of this. It was like, he needs me. So we call everyone we know. And at this time, Ofir and me, you call me every, I think, literally 3 minutes.
Wow.
And his voice is like, hi, baby. I'm okay. I'm fine. Bye. Every 3 minutes. And I was like, when he kept on saying it, I was like, okay, he's fine. Like, stop worrying. Like, stop worrying. I felt like I'm being dramatic. My family would laugh because they always call me so dramatic. So I was like, okay, don't be dramatic. He's fine. And on the TV, they're starting to say that there are terrorists at the party and they were shooting and the kibbutzim. And that's where they also started calling the news channels to ask for rescue. There were literally people calling the news reporters saying,
oh yeah,
you probably remember.
Yeah.
And so I think for like 2 hours, we're speaking every 3 to 5 minutes.
3 hours, 3.5 hours.
So you're calling her. You're like, everything is cool. What's happening around you?
So So we managed to escape terrorists, and we hide in the fields, and we hide like in this orange tree, and a lot of orange trees around us, and the car also died. So the car engine died. So we stopped there with the car. So I'm lying next to the car. Amit is lying next to me. There are 20 people, 15 people hiding on the trees around us, coming and checking on me every 5 minutes. And it's a war zone. You hear the rockets, you hear the bombs, you hear grenades, you hear shootings, you hear them speaking Arabic, and they're not far away from us, the terrorists, and it's a matter of time when they come to us. It's not if, it's when do they come, and what should I do when they come? And these are the thoughts that goes through your mind. But I know I'm on a mission. I have to stay awake. I cannot pass out. So I know I have to stop the bleeding. And that's my mission from the moment I got shot, to keep her safe so she doesn't worry. So she's 9 months pregnant, and I know that, it doesn't matter if you tell someone you got shot, you get a breakdown.
Yeah.
And so this is my mission, to not tell her, to keep her safe. In the meantime, we send our location to everyone we know. And
think about how many people sent the location to people they knew. So it was like,
there was a lot.
There was a lot.
Yeah, and I'm telling everyone around me, don't tell anyone I got shot. I don't want Leo to find out. So our location gets to one of our friends. She managed to call the police. She knows someone in the police. So they do a conference call, and the police calls me.
She's on it.
And she's on it. I didn't know she's on the call. And a few minutes before, Segal is calling me because Segal and the ticket company, they need my approval to get the database from the ticket company, from the online tickets that we sell. And, I see that this girl from the ticket company is calling me over and over again, and I'm not answering. I'm lying, wounded in the field. But then Segal calls me and I say, okay, I'll answer. I'm speaking to Segal. I says, listen, we need your approval. She doesn't give us the database without your approval. And told them, okay, because Segal didn't go to the festival. He was on the way. The war had started, so he opens a headquarters, with everyone in his home, trying to understand, and with the database, working on the database, trying to understand where everyone is and finding all of our friends. So he needs the approval. We do conference call with Noah from Eventer, from the online ticket sales team. I give them the approval, and then 5 minutes later, I speak to the police. They call me. They tell me, they send me this GPS thing, this SMS. I have to approve this GPS location. So this is how they know where I am. They did this to a lot of people, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell me, listen, I know they're wounded. And I say, yes, I'm wounded. I got shot. I need you to come as soon as possible. They say, we know where you are. We will come and rescue you, but we don't know when.
Mm-hmm.
This is their reaction. But even then, the feeling of hope started to come back. Okay, even though they say we don't know when we're going to come. But so I didn't know that another friend was on the phone call. And then she tells Segal, a few minutes later, I just spoke, Ofir got shot. And he says, no, he didn't get shot. I just spoke to him with a ticket company and he didn't say anything. And she says, no, he told me so. She said, no, it's like, no way.
Like a miscommunication.
Yeah, no, you didn't understand. Well, it's not possible. And so lucky for me that she didn't tell, so Segal didn't believe her, so he didn't call her to ask her.
Exactly.
But
it was really close.
So
But
I did a good job in
parents heard
keeping this
that.
a secret. I
Yeah.
did a good job in keeping this a secret.
It
Yeah.
was unbelievable because everyone, again, and I'm saying this again, everyone is calling me. Everyone is
Friend,
calling me. and
Afterwards,
saying,
friends tell me, we called Leo. She was so cool.
yeah,
She was like, yeah, don't worry. You'll feel
It is
fine.
fine.
Speaking with him every 5 minutes.
he's
and-
good. Rescue is on the way.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
And at home, it was like chaos because my father started making a lot of calls to people he knew from the army. And in general, everyone we knew. And, he keeps on hearing that everyone is at the same situation. So it's like beginning to unravel in front of our eyes of the magnitude of like the amount of people that are looking for rescue. He told us that every single person he called, he's like, listen, you're like my 30th call today. So my father goes, no. Listen, you need to rescue Ofir. Like, he's there. My daughter is 9 months pregnant. And think about everyone that called in the same exact way. You need to rescue them. The news started kind of unraveling. Telegram was exploding.
What time is this around?
time between 10 and
10?
10.
Yeah, I was about to say 10.
10,
11.
between 10
Oh.
and 1 p.m.
And again, I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I was 9 months pregnant. My body was starting to get very weak, and I wasn't able to. The only mission I had was getting a rescue to Ofir. And I think for 3 hours we were speaking, trying to get a rescue. We started hearing that the situation at the party is very bad. My brother was telling us. No, my brother was, which is also interesting. From the minute my brother started running at like 9, every 5 minutes he called me. I now remember it. And he goes, where's Ofir? I said, Ofir is fine. He goes, no. Where is Ofir? I said, Ofir is fine. Or where are you? We need to take care of you. He goes, no, you need to talk to Ofir. I was like, oh, stop. Like, stop being such a good brother-in-law. Like, take care of yourself. We'll take care of Ofir. We're on it. And when Ofir asked for a rescue, that was the minute that my brother was it was the time my brother was already in Patish, and we felt that he's safe. And he kept on texting me. The only text he said was, where is Ofir? How's Ofir? Is he okay? Is he speaking to you? Is he okay? Do you have contact with him? And I didn't, by the way, only after I realized that this is what he did. To me, that day was so blurry to me that I didn't understand the amount of times he asked me this. Because maybe if I did, I would have asked. Why are you asking? I didn't even ask.
But so why was he asking?
So he was asking because
he understood what's
he was
going
at the
on.
party.
He was shot. He was shot at, when they're running away.
Exactly.
He saw terrorists
He understood.
running. He was part of.
And there was a rumor that everyone that stayed at the party died and was murdered. And he knew from me that Ofir stayed behind. And so to him, the only thing he had in mind is, I'm fine, but where is Ofir? And after October 7th, we also went back to the messages, and I saw that the only message he sent me every single 5 minutes was, where is Ofir? Because that rumor spread very fast to the fact that whoever wasn't able to run during the golden hour or to a safe place or to hide was shot at and murdered. And so my brother was, almost rest assured that Ofir is gone. And that was his only and that was his only, kind of option to check with me. Because Ofir, by the way, didn't answer anyone, as he was saying. He was only answering me.
Good husband.
and my father.
And your father.
So I'm lying there for the next almost 4 hours, and we're waiting for the rescue.
Were you concerned about your wound?
We did like this tourniquet on the bullet where it went inside, and here tourniquet, and a big one on all of my leg with a stick, so you can turn it and you stop the bleeding.
Okay.
So I was concerned about my leg, because when you're with a tourniquet for too many hours, you learn that in the army, you can lose your leg.
Yeah.
And so once you put on the tourniquet, I'm writing with my blood the hour that we put it on, and it was 10 a.m.
Wow.
So if I pass out and the paramedics come, this is how they know how long I have the tourniquet. So, so many things go, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Through your mind.
What's going through your mind for these 4 hours?
So, the first hour is, okay, what do I do when they come? To bleed out to that, or to let them take me hostage, because I know at this moment that they've taken a lot of soldiers hostages. And then the next hour is, okay, will I lose my leg? Will I die? Will I stay alive? This always stays with you. But in the third hour, it's already okay. If I'm still alive, and the hope, and the police calls me, the hope starts to come back. And I imagine myself, okay, I will get home, because there's a reason I didn't tell her that I got shot. Well, I didn't say goodbye. I didn't want to believe that, well, I might die, but I will have the time to say goodbye. So the whole time, I'm not telling her, I'm talking to my father as well, I'm not telling him. And then I start to imagine, if I come back home, I will probably lose my leg. And then I will be a dad with one leg. And I imagine myself, how will I be if okay, with one leg? And I tell myself, you'll be an amazing dad even with one leg. And nothing matters as long as I get home.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my friend, he died next to me 2 hours later, after something like that. And the rescue comes after almost 4 hours. And these were civilians coming with their own pickup trucks, and risking their own lives just to come and save us. These are the true heroes of that day.
Sure.
And then, we see that I don't see them. I'm lying on the floor. I'm passing out at this time. Like every 10 minutes, I'm passing out for a minute. Someone wakes me up. And, my friend, another friend of mine that sees me says, listen, I know, I saw people that are pale, but this is the first time I understand what it means when someone's pale. Like I was white, like a ghost. And so I hear the kids in the background saying the cars are approaching. And then, someone says, let's run to them. And then the other one says, no, if these are terrorists. And then there's this dilemma. If I run first, maybe I get killed first. But if I run last, maybe I will not get rescued. So but then I hear them, they pick me up, they put me in the car. Let's say like 20 minutes before, I told my father, like 30 minutes before the rescue came, I told my father already. I told him, listen, I just want to let you know, I got shot, I'm fine, The police called us, the paramedics called us, the rescue's on the way, so don't worry, I'm just letting you know. And so he's at home. He's starting to put, after a conversation, he's starting to put on his shoes, because he's like, okay, Ofir got shot. I have to go to drive there and and save him.
Mm.
And my sister asked him, "Why are you putting on your shoes?" And he says nothing. And then they start to ask him, "Did something happen to Ofir? Because why
He didn't.
would you put on your shoes right now?"
Mm.
But he kept it safe. He also
Didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything. And when I got to the ambulance, I called also my dad again, and I called Lior's father to tell them, listen, I'm gonna be prepared. I'm gonna tell her, and I don't want her to be alone, to get the news when no one is next to her to catch her when she falls down, and because this is what I imagined she would react, and she reacted exactly that way. So I think my father was already at your home.
No, it
No.
took him like 10 minutes. But what happened is that Ofir told me the rescue is on the way. So I was like, okay. I kept on telling my father and mother and sister-in-law. I was like, rescue is on the way. We're good. I was telling my brother the rescue is on the way. I was like, resting assure everyone the rescue is on the way. I think it was for like an hour. I said rescue is on the way. And then when they rescued him, I imagined that he would go to Patish. I mean, at least to somewhere safe, like a kibbutz or like somewhere. And then he says, I'm being rescued, and I'm like asking him to where, and he doesn't answer. I was like, okay, that's weird. He doesn't answer, but it's fine. And then no, he tells me, I don't know. I think he says, I don't know. I was like, that's weird. Like, how do you not know? Where do you go?
Yes.
And my father keeps on asking me, like, where is he rescued to? Where is he rescued? We need to go. We need to go. I was like, he's fine. He's rescued to somewhere safe. And then he called.
I got rescued to a Fakim first, and then
Yeah,
immediately to an ambulance. And when I'm in the ambulance, I'm
you call me.
calling her, because now I feel like I'm safe. I'm on the ambulance. I'm getting treated. Well, there's no more danger.
And he calls me, and the first
Also,
sentence is, I'm rescued.
yeah, I'm
My-
on my way to Soroka. Don't worry, I got shot.
No. I want to tell my side.
Okay.
I'm rescued. I'm so happy. I was the happiest in my life. My brother is safe. My husband is safe. I'm fine. Because, it was already 2, 3 p.m. We understood that there's a huge, thing happening. And then I go to where? Again. Because the last conversation, he didn't tell me. And then he goes to Soroka. And then silence.
It's Beersheba Hospital.
And then I shout, what? Like, why? Why are you rescued to an hospital? Tell me. And I scream at him. And then he doesn't allow me to keep on screaming because in our relationship, I'm the one that screams. And Ofir is always super calm, as you can see. And then he goes, because I was shot in my legs. So I dropped down, just like he imagined. And I'm shaking. And I'm 9 months pregnant. So the whole time my mom was like, you can't fall. Wake up, stand up, eat, drink, do something. You can't lose yourself. And I was like, I'm losing myself. I don't know what to handle it. It was too much for me. The only thing first thing I did was, other than crying, I went down to get a suitcase ready to drive to him. Because the only thing I was thinking is, I'm going. I don't care if it's far away. I don't care if there are terrorists. I don't care if there are sirens. I'm going to see my husband. And my mom is stopping me. And my sister-in-law, they're holding me and hugging me and telling me that I can't because it's too dangerous. And I was like, I don't care. And I put in the stuff in a suitcase. And then his phone battery dies.
Last percent. Just to tell her. But then I arrived at the hospital.
And someone calls me and goes,
So my friend
Ofir's wife. So I thought for a minute that I'm going to get some news. Because he goes, I see a number I don't know. And I go, and he goes, are you Ofir's wife? And the last sentence I hear from him is, I was shot and I'm on my way to the hospital. So I was like,
Wait, did he specify in his legs at that time? Or just
so yeah.
Yeah, I told you also, I'm on the way to the hospital and I'm fine.
And I'm fine.
Yeah, I got shot in my legs, and yeah.
I was like thinking in my head, you're not fine. You're shot. How can you say you're fine? And then this guy calls me, our friend, and says, you're Ofir's wife. And I go, yeah. He says,
Chen Mizrahi.
Chen.
You met him in LA with the long hair.
Yeah.
And
He's waiting for me.
he said, I just want to tell you that your husband is a special guy because even though he was shot, he was smiling. And when I asked him why you're smiling, he said, because you're alive and we're alive. And that means that you were saved and I was saved. And he told me that. And I was like, that's such a Ofir thing because you started with Ofir's energy. And that's Ofir, thinking about the positive side and being alive. And then my side of the story kept on, his father came to our house and he hugged me and I was crying for a really long time. I even was crying when he was speaking, about the 4 hours of his thoughts with himself. And the only thing I was saying is I'm going to Ofir and everyone is like, you can't because they're terrorists.
Yeah.
And there were sirens. It's a war zone. And for 2 days we were FaceTiming.
Yeah, so I got to the hospital on Saturday, late, afternoon. My father and my brother, who just arrived in Israel, a few hours earlier on Friday night, remember?
Yeah.
So they come to the hospital. Saturday evening, they arrive at the hospital, I think. They sleep the night with me in the room on chairs. And the next day, it's Sunday, because the hospital was overcrowded.
Yeah.
Of course.
They give you an option that you can move to another hospital closer to your home.
Closer.
Morning, closer to my wife. Sorry. And
no, because he was shot and I wasn't able to see him. So the only thing I was thinking is you have to be close to me.
so she can come and visit me. And
Exactly.
Sunday morning, we're asking for a transfer to next to our home, and they say no problem. You get transferred, and then we wait for the whole day to get transferred. You cannot transfer yourself. You need an ambulance to come and take you and this. And then we understand that, nothing is moving. And of course, I don't blame anyone. But then we call a private ambulance. Okay, so Lior.
I called a private ambulance. I was like, listen, my husband is shot, but he's fine. He doesn't need a nurse to be with him on the ride. He just needs a ride with an ambulance because he needs to get very fast to another hospital. And how fast can you get to him? And listen, it was like a war zone. So there were no ambulances, even the private ones. So we were even lucky to have one. I told him I'm 9 months pregnant. I didn't see my husband. He was shot. I need him home. And he got to you very fast, I think in an hour. And we, it was private. So we took Ofir.
So
And
what was Soroka Hospital like?
Well, when we got to the trauma, to the ER, to the emergency, they tried to take me, to roll me in the bed, to do CT, to do X-ray, and they couldn't, you couldn't move because there were so many beds. It was like crashing cars in the emergency room.
amazing.
But the staff was amazing. It was like I got such a good care, and I knew exactly what's going on, and so it was a mess. It was a mess, and so I left her Friday night, and then I saw her again on Sunday night. So I was transferred to Bellinson in Petach Tikva, and I arrived with the ambulance, and it was late Sunday. It was like 10 p.m. I think.
It was tough.
Yeah, and then I arrived at the hospital, and then a friend of mine, he's also working there, so he got my whole file before I arrived. Then, so in Soroka, they only put a bandage and they said everything is fine.
And staples, right?
Yeah, with staples. Yeah.
No anesthesia, nothing. Well,
He asked me, "Do you want anesthesia?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" And he said, you just got shot. It will hurt less." And I said, "Okay, do the staples without."
We did it with nothing.
So, and when I get to Bellinson, they tell us immediately. They look at the X-ray and they said, "Listen, you have to get into surgery. There's a bullet in your left leg." And this is the first time I understand the bullet went through my right leg and into my left. I saw a wound in my leg, but I didn't understand that the bullet went through.
Still there.
Because the pain was focused only on my right leg. So
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought I was wounded because of the glasses, and I got cut, and my leg was bleeding, but it didn't. Well, I didn't understand. So then I did surgery, and Lior
And I was sleeping
Lior was
on the
all
hospital
night.
floor.
Wait,
Was
what was it like to see Ofir for the first time?
a lot of tears. It was overwhelming because all of our family was there. My side, hers.
First of all, it was a lot.
Mm.
I was 9 months pregnant. I was very worried. Israel was at war. We had hostages. People murdered. And it was like literally chaos. It was October 9th when we met. October 9th, October 8th.
Eight.
And so it was, it was seeing him was, just for minutes, like everything was okay. But then we had so much to deal with around as well. But I really tried to focus on like dealing with this and with Eliana and really making sure that I take care of her. And I keep on telling everyone that if I wasn't pregnant, not that I've been at the party, not only that, but I would have not eaten and not drink because, when you have the situation in life, the last thing you're thinking about is taking care of yourself. But I needed to because I had to take care of her. And the meeting I had a lot of expectations to the meeting because I was waiting for so long to see him. And I think at the bottom of my heart, it took me time to understand that, he went through a trauma.
Mm.
And meeting me was bringing back the trauma to life because I was home.
Mm.
And suddenly it's not just, a story. It's like literally he was shot and literally he almost died. And then he sees me and he needs to kind of cope with everything and understand that this is going to be his life. So, and that's something that took me a long time to understand because I had a lot of expectations for our meeting that's, he wasn't smiling. And I really expected him to smile. And then, thinking about it, I was like, how could he smile?
Yeah.
And he wasn't so happy to see me because it wasn't me. It was just a situation of how can you be happy in this? And hearing his friends, he already started knowing that his friends were missing and that he doesn't know and what's going on. And he's one of the producers of Nova and he had a lot of responsibility. And like he felt comfortable with me, but I wanted him to give me the like, everything is okay.
Right.
And I didn't get it.
Right.
So to me, it was like devastating to see him because I like imagined, like flowers and unicorns and everything is okay. And it wasn't.
Right.
Because everything was very chaotic. But during that time also, Ofir had exactly on that time when we met, Ofir was speaking to, which I didn't know because it took him some time to tell me, but he was speaking to Amit's family, the guy that was next to him.
Mm.
And it was just too much. And I guess to understanding what happened at that moment is that he felt comfortable with not showing me everything was okay. But I felt like I was doing something wrong.
Right. Like you were dependent on him to
say we're fine, everything is fine, but everything wasn't fine. And until this day, everything is still, it's not fine. It's getting better, but fine wasn't the word that we could use at that day, especially with everything going on.
Yeah.
And also it was overwhelming, our families, our parents, his family. And my family, we're really one big happy family, but suddenly our lives changed.
Yeah.
And so the meeting was interesting.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Well, Sunday night when I was transferred, I already knew how many friends we have lost.
Yeah.
We didn't know all of them because a lot of them were missing.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew already about Liron Barda. I knew already about like Sassi's family.
Do you know about Kido?
Kido was missing for almost 2 weeks.
But you didn't know.
So Kido, one of the DJs and a good friend of mine, like family. He was next to me when we escaped when the terrorists came. So, and then we didn't hear anything from him. So you don't know what to pray for, that he's been taken hostage or definitely not that he's been murdered. But
Yeah.
this. So, and that day, I know already so many friends have been murdered and tens have been taken hostage. And when we meet, well, I remember I was happy to meet you, but it wasn't us. It was like so many people,
Yeah.
like overwhelming. Like her parents and everyone, of course, are happy to see me and crying, and I don't understand. You don't even understand. Okay, why are they crying, or or what's going on? Okay, so and then I need surgery, and
Yeah.
it took us time until we had the moment alone. Yeah, I think ever since, well, there were darker days afterwards
Yeah.
because, tens of funerals and some at the, friends, on the same day. And you have to choose to which one to go. And I couldn't go to most of them because I couldn't walk.
Yeah, and I was 9 months pregnant. So in Judaism, you're not allowed to go into funerals or at least a cemetery at all when you're pregnant. I was sleeping on hospital floors for a week with Ofir. And think about the situation that we are wanting to get better, but around us, everything is crazy. There was a guy next to us, a soldier, father, remember? He was screaming at night. And I'm 9 months pregnant. The only thing I'm thinking is, how am I going to raise my daughter here? I mean, I don't want her to be affected by this, but she is. And people came to visit, not a lot, because we really wanted the time to heal for the first week. But some friends did come, and every time he...
Well, you cannot. It's okay. Don't you tell people, okay, give us some time, but then this comes and he
Yeah.
comes and them come and they coming and the family and this and this.
And you know what's interesting? I never heard of Phil's story until the exhibition started fully.
Really?
Because whenever people came, he was kind of deciding on which part to focus and things he remembered some things and things less. So until the exhibition started and I saw, videos and everything, there are a lot of details that it took me months or probably weeks, maybe more, but to hear.
Yeah.
So I wasn't focused on the story. I was focused on getting him better and us better because I was getting ready to give birth.
Right.
I couldn't have us focus on our story. We need to move on.
Yeah.
So the moving on happened very fast, and then the going back happened after. Like the whole cycle of it changed for us because Eliana needed us.
Right.
Yeah, but until then, there was also, she's 9 months pregnant, and no one asked her how does she feel. No one asked her. She's supposed to be on the sofa, not doing anything, and instead of I'm taking her spot, and everyone is bringing us food, and my mom is calling her to ask her how is Ofir. Her mom asked her how is Ofir.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, she got pushed aside, and people come and visit me, and then she's 9 months pregnant, but she's also so she's hosting.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this at
The chairs. People kept on giving Ofir chairs, and I was standing up. I was like, guys, you need to
yeah,
chairs.
yeah. I'm coming with the crutches, and they stand and say. Well, I think even one time someone told you to stand up because I'm sitting.
Yeah, probably happened.
So that took me also time to realize, and I think that was, well, we had to deal with so many things, but at the end, she's 9 months pregnant,
Yeah.
and no one is asking how does she feel.
Yeah.
And that was really hard for me. Like, it took me also time to realize this because, I like to get the focus. I like it. And I was wounded and I'm lying there and I'm, so much food sent over and also like food. So yeah. But then, it was like really hard to understand. And at the first 10 days, also in the hospital, the psychiatrist, they come to you, they say, listen, there's nothing to do in the first 10 days. You will have some symptoms of trauma, but don't take any pills. You might have this or that or that or that. And so, we don't even know the word trauma yet. We don't even know what's like something that you need to deal with. Because again, I'm alive. I didn't lose my leg.
We're good.
We're soon to be like soon she's gonna give birth. So what trauma? Like
We're speaking, we're talking, he eats, he drinks,
Yeah.
we sleep. Everyone always keeps on asking me, is Ofir okay? I was like, yeah. They're like, no. Does he eat, drink, and sleep? I was like, yeah, definitely all three of them. So to us, it was like, there's no trauma
Yeah. Like everything's
for the beginning of it, at least. And I was sleeping on the hospital floor. This doctor comes in, he goes, are you sleeping on the hospital floor? I was like, yeah. He goes, don't ever will I see you again sleeping on a hospital floor. You're 9 months pregnant.
yeah, but the next day they got you.
They got me a bed that was like folding.
So how long were you in the hospital for during that time? A week?
Week? No, it was that.
Wednesday. I was home Wednesday.
Wednesday already?
Well, I recovered very fast. Like
Felt more.
right after the surgery, I could like walk with crutches already, which was like major. But my whole foot was numb. Like I have drop foot, and still part of my leg is numb.
Yeah.
Um,
We did physical therapy.
yeah, 1,000 times a week,
Yeah.
therapy and anything. But I got home after a week. But then as time goes by, all these questions. Like she's pushed aside. Everyone's asking, "What about Ofir?"
Yeah.
And we have plans for to move to Berlin.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we opened that. Well, my team of Nova from Nova, they opened the healing center, and I'm going there. She's taking me there, and like it's the first place that I feel normal. And so many things happen in such a small period of time. And my brother, of course, he understands. Give me some space now. I need to heal, and so our whole life changed. So not only ours, everyone that lives in Israel.
Yeah.
Every Jew around the world.
Yeah.
It's not that this happened to us. This happened to everyone.
Oh yeah.
And some got a little bit more affected, some a little bit less.
And then Eliana.
And then Eliana. But in every step, since then, every step that at the end, every decision that I take, it's not only affecting me, it's affecting also Lior.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly to continue with Nova, it's like changing our whole life plan, what we planned in the last year. And dealing with Nova, it's not only affecting, again, her, it's affecting everyone around me. Because my brother, he's like, okay, Ofir, I need you back. And then I'm trying to go back after Eliana was born.
Remember that?
And this is when I realized, this is when the first time that I had like this felt the trauma. Anxiety, like a panic attack. And then
Panic attack here.
this is when I understood that, okay, something is going on. And it was 5 weeks later that this is the point that I understand I have to go to a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
Until that point, I spoke to some psychiatrists at the healing center, and one of them told me, look, you're amazing. She started to cry. You're amazing. You were in charge of you took, control of the situation. You kept your wife and family safe, and you did everything right. You're good. And so I thought I'm healed,
Yeah.
And
Which I wanted to believe too.
but she was like, she wasn't a professional psychologist. She was like a healer or something.
And everyone was pushing me. Ofir needs to go to see someone. I was like, no. He's totally
And
fine.
everyone, like, again. And so this is the first time that I know that I have to deal with the trauma.
Yeah.
But in every step, she was there. She was supporting.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
We'll postpone Berlin for like, okay, let's talk about it in a few months and let's see. And then she saw me, on this journey of like the Nova healing journey. And she saw me talking. She saw me talking too, and I never used to speak in front of people. And then she tells me one day, listen, it's like, I've never seen you, like, how did you say it? I've never seen you like doing something, but this is you're exactly at the place that that like everything like is like, you're amazing.
You like life was supposed to be.
I never saw you like this
for you.
I never saw you like
It's your
this.
mission.
Yeah.
And your mission becomes your healing. And sometimes it doesn't heal me. I walk through the exhibition and it's still, to this day, very hard for me. And to feel it's a bit different because everyone heals different.
Mm.
My healing is a lot about being a mom and being there for Eliana, which we didn't even talk because I get here but Eliana is the light. And I think that even though, the with the worst, I understood that he really helps, have the voice for the community, for the people, and for the people of Nova and the angels that are watching us from above and the hostages. And that's his mission.
Yeah.
And his whole life was meant to become that moment. And even from the worst story, he was able to make something incredible, respectful, and meaningful to everyone that is part of this. And I think this is why I keep on backing this up and being there for him, because I see it in his eyes. Because the way he speaks and the way he talks and the passion he has and the care of the people that are not here and the families that come and come be with us, of the murdered, and the combination of loving music and festivals and making sure that we keep this as a memory, but a really strong one, so we never forget, is why I'm always going to be there for him and for this cause, because I really, truly believe in it. So Eliana is our Nova baby.
She's our angel.
She's our angel.
She's
everything.
She just celebrated her first birthday at the Nova Community Day.
Yeah, everyone was singing happy birthday to
Yeah.
her. We were
So,
crying.
You guys are, it's so interesting. I've known you guys since April. And to see, and I've gotten to know a lot of the survivors and the people in the community, and like to see the way they react towards you guys. Like, you guys are really like Ima Abba of the Nova family, and everyone feels so like loved by you and loves you. And Eliana, she's the beat. Like, you guys walk in with Eliana and like you guys are ignored and no one cares about you, and everyone just wants to,
Yeah, which is fine. We love that.
And I think that that's really special. I think that there's so much weight that is carried among these people, the Nova family, that I've experienced just from the small scope of people that I've been around. And there's so much pain and sadness and trauma, and the fact that you guys can be kind of like the frame and the hug for them is really special to see just from an outsider. I think I'm lucky that I got to that I've been able to really absorb that from both of you, and that's really unique.
We love you too.
Oh, we love you too. It's beautiful. Thank you.
But at the end, what you just described, I think this is for me what it's always been about, meeting people and being, creating this exhibition in Tel Aviv, and then meeting these two amazing guys who Joe Teplon and Scooter Brown, and creating this team with them, and then Josh is in the team, and then all these other people that everyone joined this journey. It's like, in meeting them, and I'm grateful.
Yeah,
I always have been. Of course, now I'm a little bit more grateful, but we never take anything for granted, and that meeting people like you and all the American team that helped us bring this exhibit to New York, LA, now Miami. It's like, it's been a year and 3 months since October 7th, and what we've accomplished so far, in the memory of our friends that have been murdered, and for the survivors, and creating this amazing foundation, and doing the healing concert in Tel Aviv, and Burning Man, and we could have done this alone, and so
we're hugged.
So the love that we get, it's like the only thing I can do. It's give it back. So I'm grateful for being a small part in this journey of our history.
Yeah. What was it like walking through the exhibit for the first time? I think Tel Aviv was a little different than New York.
Yeah. Let's start with New York, right?
Yeah.
We did this together. We walked together. Remember?
Yes. I wasn't able to. I wasn't there. I was walking through, but I really wasn't there physically and emotionally. New York was very tough for me. It was the first time I was away from home with Eliana, and a lot of my anxiety and panic attacks happened in New York. But the first time walking, the thing I kept in my mind was, this is why we're doing this.
Mm.
This is why we're here, and this is the reason. And seeing Ofir on the screen just made me cry
Both of
so
us
bad.
cried.
We were crying a lot because, again, it made it real one more time. And I think that ever since walking through the exhibition has really changed to me.
Mm.
Now, when I walk through, I can have the differentiation of, okay, this is the exhibition and this is the outside world of when we step out of it. I didn't have that in New York. So it was very tough.
Mm.
And in general, just seeing it one more time, it was like real. We were like there.
Yeah.
The messages and the bullet, sounds and everything. And it kept on bringing me back those memories of that day and thinking of what Ofir had to go through and my brother. But it's changed.
Mm.
So in LA, it got a bit, better. And now here, much better and being able to actually walk through.
Mm.
But it's still hard.
Yeah.
And so every time I see Ofir's screen, I'm like, whoa, that's him.
Yeah.
That's literally him. So I still have those
Like surreal.
those moments. Yeah.
Would you guys mind sharing just a name of someone who you lost and about who they were as people, person?
Let's choose two.
You choose, and yeah.
I want to talk about Kido. It's hard. Kido was like family to all of us. He was a really good friend of Ofir, and I met him through Ofir. And Kido was that type of guy that you would always want to hang out with. At a party or at a place, he would always be so chill and calm and happy in his own way. And he was always okay and good. Like, I just loved that fact about him. And whenever he hugged me, he really hugged like a bear. He really had that hug, and he really cared. And he would also say nice words and would also, compliment you. And we loved him and we miss him a lot. And when he went missing, I even asked this Ofir. We kept on thinking that Ofir knew where he is because we knew that maybe Ofir would not want to say. And everyday people would call Ofir and say, like, do you know where he is? And Kido was the last person that my brother saw at the party. They were standing at the bar together. And I think he was like, he was saying hi to him. So it was also interesting that at the end, my brother crossed paths with him. He wasn't able to run from the party and he was murdered, I think, at an ambulance, right? And he's with us. He's part of the exhibition here with his videos and his music. And we remember him, every day and every time we speak about the Nova or him himself. And I wish he listens to us now.
Forever Kido.
Forever Kido.
So I want to speak about Liron Barda. Liron, she was the manager of the bar. I met her 3 years before. It was where we did our wedding in Ziv at the beach. A few months later, we did a Tzatlan Shama party there. And this is the first time I met her. She was managing the bar. She drove me crazy that night, at the 2 days. But we fell in love because I loved the way, like, she's a force. Everyone that meets her and knows her, falls in love. She's beautiful with beautiful blue eyes. And we became friends immediately. And it took a long time for me after October 7th to deal with that, because she's very good friends with everyone I know, with our whole Nova group and our whole team. And it was for me at the beginning that, like, they lost her. And, well, I'm sad that she got murdered. She stayed behind because she took care of the wounded, and this is how she got murdered. She risked her own life and lost her life because she was taking care of others, and that's exactly who she is. And it took me a long time to deal with it, that also I lost her with a psychologist and talking about it, and it was always like, I'm standing from the side and I'm sorry for Sasi's wife, she was good friends with her, and Sasi and everyone was good friends with her. And it wasn't like, and then I realized that I lost her too, and she was also my friend, and so she was one of the most amazing people I know.
Yeah.
She used to drive me crazy when we worked together, but she was a happy person. She did so much good in this world, and she left this world while helping others, and I think that says everything about her. And I wish she would be here, and I will always remember her. And she left such a big mark in this world, even being so young, 27, when she got murdered. So yeah, I already, after I realized that I lost her, I spoke to her and I said that I'm sorry that I didn't realize that I lost her too, and that she was such a good friend of mine. So I will tell her again that I love her forever, and
You both.
and we'll do everything in our power so she will never be forgotten. And there's so many people that are doing this, so she will live with us, within us forever.
And she has a plaque on the bar.
She has a plaque on the bar.
One last question. Ofir and Lior, what does We Will Dance Again mean to you?
Wow.
So without us knowing, it became, the new never again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so proud of that sentence. I'm seeing it here in front of me.
Bring Eliana in.
Yeah,
Let's bring Eliana.
yeah, let's
Bring Eliana.
wait. Hold on.
Come, baby.
Eliana,
Eliana,
super.
my lovey.
Ah.
You want to sit with mommy?
She's coming. This is perfect time.
Perfect timing. She's our We Will Dance Again. by the way.
So the sentence was hanged at our healing center already a week, 2 weeks after October 7th. And I think it shows, the world exactly who we are. Who we are. And we are strong and we are resilient. And, I said never again was the sentence after the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And it always gives me a reminder, our grandparents, I'm third generation of Holocaust survivor. They taught us, they gave us the tools without even knowing. They gave us the tools how to deal with what happened us today. And not only they built a family, they built a country. And I think, there was no word trauma back then. And they were the most amazing grandparents. And I know I'm not the only one who has the most amazing grandparents who survived the Holocaust. They chose life and they chose to be strong. And this gives us a reminder every day why we're doing this, what we have lost. And someone told me a few months ago, like the Holocaust reminds us what it is to be a Jew without a country. And October 7th reminds us what it is to be a Jew with a country.
Yeah.
And I think, this sentence, we will dance again. It's everything.
Yeah.
It's our essence. It's who we are. It's our purpose in life. And yeah, for her,
So my We Will Dance Again is Ofir and me are such optimistic people. And even though in the darkest times, even though now and even though our life had, times where there wasn't a lot of light, we always looked at hope. And so this sentence is always, it is something that it's like a motto we have, something that we have in our life. And I think We Will Dance Again is for her.
Yeah.
As Ofir said, for Eliana. And you want to put the headphones, baby? Here, baby. And this is for Eliana and for us.
love you.
Know that we love you. And we will do everything in our power to dance again and make, the world a bit better for her.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming onto the podcast. I am so grateful that you came on the podcast, but more so to have you guys.
It was worth to wait, no?
Yeah, it was.
It really was worth it. And I'm so happy you guys are here. Thank you.
Thank you, Aviva.
We love
Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
I love you guys.
We love you. Say thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning into the Dance Again podcast. To help support the healing journey of the Nova survivors and the families of the victims, click on the link in the description.